live feed is brought to you by theBULLYexposed.com, a 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying, so let them help you. Also brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. And also brought to you by Guardian Angel app. Guys, yes, the Guardian Angel app. Mark Davis is my guest host today. So let me call Mark on in. Give me a second here. I hope you guys are all having a good day. Let me see. Got to search for his account here. There we go. And let me call in my A1 from day one, you know. Call my people in here to watch the show. And then we can get started. All right. All right, there we go. Okay, got the A1s from day ones in, and we're ready to start the show. So, you know, when I've heard about Marcus and his Guardian app, I said to myself, I have to get this guy on the show. When I was being bullied, they didn't have an app to help me. You know, I would have loved to have an app to deal with my bully, maybe record some things that were going on and get information, but I didn't have that. I didn't have that at all. And so I really like it when people create apps. We've had people on the show before that have created apps to kind of help you with the bullying. So my guest today, or my guest host, I should say, is Mark Davis, and he's creating an app called the Guardian Angel app that will be out soon that could help you guys deal with your bullying. So let's see, maybe I could reach out to him. Oh, he didn't receive my invitation. Let me send him another one. That's weird. I don't know why that happened. Let's see. I'm unable to. Oh, there we go. Okay. You know, technical difficulties when you have a live show. This is what happens. Okay, there we go. I don't know why he didn't. Oh no, he did receive my first one. Okay, maybe he's didn't see that first one, but he's coming on soon. So these apps are wonderful, guys, because if you can get to your camera right away to record your bullying, or the audio, like in some anti-bullying apps, that's good, rather than fumbling through your phone. Because when you're being bullied, you tend to kind of forget your surroundings or stuff like that, or what's going on, because you're nervous. You're extremely nervous, especially if they're threatening you with violence. It's really hard to kind of remember, okay, what's my code, right? You forget your code all of a sudden. And that's why I tell you guys, it's very, very important to practice and role play with a friend you trust, or your parents or a sibling, on how to deal when you're being bullied by someone. It's good to practice that. You know, you think for a minute, you know, like, let's talk about boxers. It's one of my favorite sports. Boxers, you think that they just jump in the ring? No, they practice for years, sometimes months. When you're a professional boxer, every day is a day in the gym. You know, there's no, oh, let me take a break. Even when you go on vacation, I know boxers that they go on vacation and they make sure that they have a facility to work out. They make sure they have a route to run. They do their daily, you know, if they do 10 miles a day, you know, I don't know what a professional boxer would do, but if they do 10 miles a day, if they do, 20 miles a day, they make sure they plan that out and make sure, okay, I have a safe place to run. I got a crew that's going to run with me. A lot of boxers, you know, it's not like Rocky where you see Rocky running alone down the street. It's not like that. They plan it all out. So you have to plan your situation out as well. And it appears that we have Marcus, my guest host today, here with us live. So let me send him an invitation to come on the show. And there we go. So we are ready to talk to Marcus, and he can tell you about his great Guardian Angel app. Hello, Marcus. Thank you for joining the show.
How you doing? Oh, thanks for inviting me.
No problem. Anytime I hear about great apps like the one you're creating, I definitely want to bring the creator on so you could tell us about him, and we could get some kids to download, or even adults to download this app for you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Marcus.
Well, I'm Mark. I'm the founder of the Guardian Angel app, which actually is about to launch pretty soon. I'm from Detroit.
Oh, awesome.
Born and raised in Detroit. Lived here all my life. Also stayed in a city outside of Detroit called Southfield. Went to Western Michigan University where I did my undergrad. Got my
Awesome.
My bachelor's in communications. Been working in higher education for pretty much the remainder up to this day. So higher ed, I'm actually a financial aid advisor as my 9 to 5. So I've been serving students with financial aid for over 10 years now. It's probably more closer to 15 years that I've been doing that. So it's been quite a journey.
Wow. Oh, can you raise your camera up a bit just so we can see that handsome face of yours? There we go. Yeah.
Okay, is that better? I need to prop this up on something.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, there you go. Right. Oops.
Okay.
Right there. That's perfect. Thank you. So is that being a financial person for students? Financial aid advisor for students, is that where you came up with this app? Is that where the idea came from?
You know what? It came from, actually, one day I was at home and it was a news story on in the background about a young girl from the local area that was suffering or dealing with bullying. And unfortunately, as a result, she ended up committing suicide. So you know, and it was on in the background, and it kind of captured my attention because, you know, it was a story about it. You know, she's probably around 7 years old. You know, she wasn't old at all. And I'm like, wow, you know, issues around bullying and suicide, things are still going on like this, you know, to this day. So it captured my attention, and it did more than that. It kind of captured my heart as well. So, you know, at that point, I was like, man, this is something that been going on since I was in school, you know, which was quite a long time ago. You know, I'm like, man, we need to upgrade this. You know, we need to upgrade this. So seemed like once I heard that young girl's story, I started hearing more and more stories similar to hers, you know, in the newspaper or in the local news. So I was like, man, we got to do something. So, I kept saying, you know, someone has to do something about this. Someone had to do something about this, not knowing that someone is the person that's looking in the mirror. I was like, why you wait, Mark? Why you waiting on someone to come save the situation when you're the one who is passionate about it, where you're the one who, you know, have these ideas and these thoughts on how we can make it better. So it kind of really started there. You know, everywhere I went, I seemed like I was getting these messages of, hey, Mark, you know, you might want to be the one who take hold of this topic and kind of run with it, because you do have some ideas that might bring about change.
You know, you said that, and that hit home with me as well. Yeah, you know, we tried very hard to get someone to be the face of this show, and nobody would stand up. And it was like I had that moment like you had. You know, it's like,
right.
Well, why am I looking for someone? You know,
right.
I mean,
right.
for me,
right.
see, for your followers to get a little get to know me a little bit. I'm a filmmaker, so I'm behind the camera. I'm never at this end of the camera. But
Right.
I had to step out like you know, step out of the shadow and step
Yep.
into the light and do the work. So yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you on that for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
No, it's interesting how you just said, step out of the shadows. And that's kind of like what you have to do when you're taking ownership of something, right? You're stepping it into a new comfort zone. So it's almost like you're now going to have to start being comfortable with being uncomfortable with these new things, right? These new challenges, and being okay with that, and saying, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Regular citizens throughout history, I hate to call it regular, but extraordinary citizens throughout history have been making a difference throughout history. Why can't we be one of those people?
I agree. Totally agree. Wow. So, do you have a background in creating apps, or is someone helping you? How is that coming along?
Yeah, you know what? No, I do not have a background in creating apps, so I had to create a team. So,
There
so
you
I had
go.
to, I started with, just, your regular invention companies, and say, where do I start? How do I get this off the ground? From that point, I got some tech mentors that helped me, help me to kind of really get started on, things to think about. It's this, it might be have me thinking outside the box as far as, hey, this is a great idea. This is a great idea, and you think this is an issue, but you need to make sure that other people feel the same way, and that you're really servicing an issue that's out there. So so from that point, I'm doing interviewing, I'm doing research, I'm deep diving
Right.
into this whole bullying issue. Is it a real issue? Because just because something resonates with you doesn't necessarily mean that it's resonating out there in the real world. So I had to make
Right.
sure that was something that was real and that was true. And is this a viable resource to help students or help kids, when addressing bullying? So so again, I had to I had to grab some mentors that was in the tech field. I had to grab some coders who could code the app, because that wasn't
Right.
something that I could do personally.
Right.
I had to grab some business people to make sure that my business affairs was in order in regards to the app. So it really started out with just me and the idea, but then it grew to something even bigger once I started bringing these other pieces of the puzzle into the picture. And here we are, about to launch, hopefully, if not this month, at the latest October.
October. Okay, great. I'm going to say this twice in the show. Please be sure to come back. And I don't know if it's going to be a free app. Let's talk about that. Is it going to be a free
Yeah.
app? Is it a free app?
Yeah, it's going to
So
be a free app.
anyone can
Yep.
have it. Okay. So
Anyone
so
can
then
have it. Yep.
so then great. It's not like you have to give me certain access to parts and pieces so I can talk about it on the show. That's good. So free app. What are we going to be able to do when we download this app?
Right. So once you download this Guardian Angel app, you'll create a profile. After downloading the app, once you create that profile, a message will be sent to the Guardian Angel team to authenticate that profile, because we want to make sure when setting up that profile. So, for example, if there's a student setting up that profile, we want to make sure that the contact information on their profile is correct and that it's going to go to the right person, because the kid's
Right.
safety is something that's going to be very important when reaching out using this app, right? Because that's what they're going to be doing. If they have an issue in regards to bullying, or maybe even outside, maybe an issue at home that they want to bring to their school's attention, they're going to use this app to send that. The good thing about using the app is that, of course, some students, and especially kids nowadays, and even before then, are not comfortable with speaking out. So if
Right.
you want to be anonymous, use the Guardian Angel app to be anonymous to reach out to your school. So it has
That's good.
Yep, it has that feature as well, because we gotta get out that old way of thinking of, I don't want to be a snitch, I don't want to tell, I don't want to be this or be labeled that, and we need to kind of reprogram ourselves and say, hey, your power is in your voice, your power is in you speaking up. So
Preach,
once we
preach.
right, so so once we authenticate the profile for the new user, then they're able to use the app the way they use the way they want to. So if they do have an issue, they can email the school, either identifying themselves or email the school anonymously. Now, another cool thing about the app that is subscription based is there are other features of the app there will be subscription based. So let's kind of get into that a little bit. So we're not only focusing on identifying the issue, but how do we manage just kind of our mental wellness day to day. So if some of the information that you saw is centered around different features of the app in around meditation and around different positive affirmations that they can listen to, they can read to. They'll be able to do. Yes, yeah, which is huge. And we'll get into that as well. Different positive. I have what's called a positive playlist, where they'll be able to listen to different positive, uplifting songs, different positive, uplifting quotes and videos, just to kind of keep their spirits high. There'll be a journaling feature on the app as well. So students will be able to journal. They'll be able to journal either by writing their thoughts down or by video. So they'll be able to video journal as well. So there are a lot of other exciting features that I think separates the Guardian Angel app from other apps.
That's great. The affirmation parts, that is great. When a person feels, what's the word I'm looking for? When a person feels, oh, I'm sorry, I just lost that train of thought. But when they feel good about themselves, when they feel good about themselves, then it projects outward, and the bully is going to pass them right by because, nope, this person, like I always tell the story of my, right. I always tell the story of my son, black belt in Taekwondo. He carried himself a certain way in school. And I asked him one time when he was, I think, 14, I said, you ever had to use it? Be honest, you won't be in trouble. He was like, no, I never had to use it, because he carries himself. Because it's not just about fighting, it's about carrying yourself a certain way where bullies look at you, you look the bully in the eye, and they say, oh, no, this is not the guy to mess around with. And they go on to the next kid. So that I totally agree with that. Is there going to be a way, like I've had people on my show that have created apps where you can press one single button and it opens up like maybe the video camera, so you can video what's going on if you're being bullied or someone else is being bullied, or you can do audio if you click the audio button. Is there anything like that in the works maybe, or is there anything like that now?
Well, there's something like that now. So for example, in the journaling feature of the app, now that's an audio, again, they can choose to do audio or video or written, right? So for example, if they want to use a part of their day as a part of their video journal, then they can use that feature to record, a portion of their day, and a portion of that day could pick up, situations in and around bullying. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you so that's very interesting. So then did you, in creating the app, did you have to think of anything like, because there are some states in America that allow recording without a person's knowledge, and there are some states that don't. Did you have to look into that law for that, or?
Right. We haven't looked into the law for that. The thing is that we found is that as long as it's a personal recording, because everybody has a phone, right? So everybody's recording all over the place. As long as you got a phone, so as long as it's something that you're not invading someone's privacy without their know-abouts, so again, you got your phone out. If someone sees it, you're not invading on their privacy where it's something that, you're sneaking around doing. This is solely for you know, and again, this is solely for the protection of the student. So yeah.
Awesome. That's terrific. And if you're just joining us, we are talking to Marcus Davis, the creator of a Guardian Angel app that will be out when, Marcus? Do we have a date yet, or
Yeah,
no date set?
We don't have a set date. We're trying to launch again. If we can launch by the end of this month, September, that would be great. If not, I'm thinking the latest it would be October, which is next month.
Right, October. Okay,
No.
awesome. Hopefully, we'll be out of this horrible situation that we're in, and we can go on with our lives.
Hopefully, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting rest of the year for sure.
Yeah. So, so you mentioned a subscription part. Do you mind telling us, like, how much would this subscription be?
Yeah,
More information?
yeah, for sure. For the subscription, it'll just be $4.99 to subscribe.
$4.99.
Yep.
All right,
And
that's not bad.
yeah, and you'll be able to use all the features of the app. Like I said, the meditation part, the positive playlist, the journaling, the notifications, all of that. So yeah, you know, and that's I think that's the beautiful thing about this app, that it's not just one dimensional, right? It's not just, hey, I'm just sending a request. I'm being bullied, or I'm having issues at home. You know, it's really focused. It's focused around that, but it's really focused around your wellness, your mental wellness, and making sure, again, like you said, when you're speaking with your son, it's like you're rarely having to get physical. It's really that mental battle that you have to win day to day that gets you through life. That's the number one thing. Yep, that's the number one thing. You know, even as adults.
Yeah. Plus, you know, you're never going to stop someone from trying to bully you. So if you arm yourself with the tools you need, that's gonna help you as well. You know, because you're never gonna stop someone from thinking a certain way. You know.
Oh no, yeah.
You're never gonna stop that. So you might as well change what you can change, and that's yourself and the way you carry yourself, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So you mentioned in the beginning of the interview something about it connects with the school. That I don't want to misinterpret your app. Did you say that you connect with the school as well?
Right. So after that user creates that profile, yeah. So the app will be, so when the user creates that profile, they're going to put in the name of their school. They're going to put in the city and state that their school is in. So when we get that profile, we're going to authenticate who that school official is at the school. So we'll verify that. So we make sure that profile is set up with the correct information. So when the student is emailing the school, it's going to the appropriate person.
Okay, so you connect, correct me if I'm wrong, so you connect with the school so that you can verify that, you know, John goes to, you know, MLK University,
right.
He is a student of that school, and you verify that portion, and then you know who that's very good, because unfortunately, I hear a lot from parents and teachers too often that schools don't do a thing about it. And with your app being a third party, I think that will push them to say, hey, you know, John said he's being bullied. We're going to have to handle it, because we got the guardian angel looking at us, Marcus Davis, looking at us. So we better do what we need to do. And that's good, because unfortunately, that needs to happen. Just, you know, I don't know if your viewers know, but we do this show twice a day sometimes.
Wow.
And just yesterday, I had someone tell me that the school said to them, oh, that's just, you know, the bully's name was Billy, and they said that's just Billy. You know, don't worry about it. That's just Billy. That's how he is. Boys will be boys. You know, sort of kind of attitude.
I know.
How do you how do you deal with that, and how is your app going to help against that?
See, again, that we've been hearing that for so long. We've been hearing that for so long. That just doesn't work I don't think it ever worked. just the whole notion of boys will be boys. Here's the thing that we found out that is to be true, is that hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So whoever is being bullied, of course, they're going through a certain level of trauma. But the person doing the bullying, they have to be suffering to a certain degree as well. So we need to start identifying these issues early, so we don't have, I mean, it's one thing to have kids hurting other kids. That's bad in itself. But eventually these kids are going to be adults, right? So we definitely don't need grown folks walking around, hurting each other. So it's an opportunity for us to address these issues early on, so we can start, putting better habits into place. Again, there's things that we do as adults that, that help us manage our lives just day to day, just handle different stress levels. And the earlier that our children can pick up these good habits, the better off they're going to be moving forward as adults.
That's right. I agree. Totally agree with that one. Yes. And if you're just joining us again, we got Marcus Davis as my guest host, and he is the creator of Guardian Angel app that will be out in a couple of months, guys. So be sure to download it. So I'm assuming iPhone, Android, whatever you got, right? You'll be able to download it.
Yep. iPhone, Android,
okay, awesome.
Those platforms for sure.
Awesome. That's the way to go. That's the way to go for sure. So, anything else about the app that we haven't talked about yet? Any other features that we might have?
Well, we went over pretty much all the features. Another cool thing about the I did touch on the notifications, but another cool thing about the notifications is that if you want to set up the app, almost kind of like an alarm, so where maybe at a certain point or time in the day, you want to hear a certain positive message, or you want to hear a certain positive song. It's almost kind of like waking up to, your favorite quote, or, or your favorite motivational speaker, to get your day started. So that's another cool thing, or maybe it goes off right before you go into school or go into the office, right? So you'll hear those things to kind of, uplift you and get you in the right spirits to get your day started.
Awesome. That is good part. It's a good part. So let's talk a little bit about you. So you're from Detroit. I've eaten at a lot of great vegan restaurants in Detroit. Soul food, vegan restaurants. Yeah, I was really good stuff when I was down there.
Okay.
So what's your background? What'd you do as a kid? Were you ever bullied as a kid living in Detroit?
You know what? That's a good question. I was not bullied. But I did witness bullying a lot, So I did, that was one thing that was that I always had, was being very observant, and just and feeling people's energy, and I remember people, seeing people get bullied, and I can remember seeing the look on their face. And I could tell, everybody try to laugh it off and, try to be cool about it, but I could tell that it bothered them. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell that it bothered them. So, that's another thing, just looking back, like, man, this thing has been going on for quite some time. But for me personally, I grew up with my mom and dad. I had an older brother,
All right.
Things like that. Yeah, he wasn't going to play that. So even if I did had a bully, I don't think the older brother was playing that. So,
right.
But yeah. But that's the things we got to think about. Not everybody has, those figures in their life that can, that can protect them or maybe teach them on how to deal with certain issues in regards to bullying. Fortunate, again, my mom and dad, they was, big on, hey, this is how you carry yourself, instilling confidence, have a high self-esteem about you, but instilling that in me by teaching certain levels of discipline, so, unfortunately, but again, not everybody has that, and that's what we got to think
Right.
about. You know, some people just say, hey, you know, just handle it this, like you said, you know, boys will be boys, or you just handle it this way, or just handle it that way. Yeah, that's easy for some people to say, but if you got low self-esteem or maybe a low confidence issue, then, you know, to go about it that way, you don't pick it up that easily. So,
Right.
you know, so thankfully I had those role models in my life, you know, that taught me, hey, you know, when things like this happen, this is how you handle it. And this is what, you know, is going to separate you from being, you know, either bullied or not bullied. So, yeah, you know, unfortunately, I didn't have to go through that myself. But again, just see other classmates, people you care about, family members, and, you know, hearing their stories about bullying, have to deal with bullying. I mean, you know, whether it's just because it's not happening to you, doesn't mean that, you know, it doesn't resonate with you a certain type of way.
Good, very good point. A lot of people, you know, you said, you know, I was very observant. I think a lot of people are very observant. They just choose to ignore
Yeah.
certain negative things. And good for you for saying, no, I'm not going to ignore it. You know, I always tell people, you know, it's really funny. I tell people, hey, come on my show. Let's talk about bullying. And they'll say, well, I've never been bullied. I have no stories to tell you. No, but if you've seen it, you know,
Yeah.
you've seen it, or
Yeah.
maybe unfortunately you've done it. You
Right.
know, so
Right.
let's come
Right.
on, and let's talk about that, because, you know, it's important to hear from the bully. You know, I always tell people, you know, like, especially when we get trolled on the show, hey, Danielle, thank you for joining the show. When we get trolled on the show, it's like, come on the show. I'll give you a platform to talk, and you can tell me why you think it's okay to come on our show and bully someone. And it's like, nope, none of them will ever take the chance to come on. You know, I tell them, you don't even have to show your face. Have a blank screen. I just want people to know the mind of a bully. You know, none of them will come on because they know
Right.
that what they're doing is wrong and that it
Oh,
needs to
definitely.
stop. But good for
Definitely.
you for saying, you know, just because I've never experienced it, just because I've never done it, doesn't mean that I can't help prevent it. Good for you for that.
Right.
So
Right.
what do you,
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was
No,
going to
you're the
say,
guest host. Go on.
yeah, I guess that's right. No, you made a good point again about the bully, right? Now the bully, again, as we know, that hurt people hurt people. The bully is going through something as well, you know, whether they want to admit to it or not, right? So we know that, and that's why, you know, issues like this needs to be, you know, nipped in the bud very early, so we can get to the bottom of the situation. Again, sometimes it's just taught behavior as well. You know, maybe there's something going on in that bully's household that's making them act out. You know, maybe he's hurting and he just want to hurt somebody else, or maybe there's something else going on that he's feeling like, hey, I just want to take my aggression or my anger out on someone else, and I just want to find that easy target.
Mm-hmm. Right. What advice do you give to a kid then that, you know, maybe an only child, may come from a background? I've talked to kids that come from a background that violence, no matter what, is never the answer. And I think that if you're defending yourself, that's not violence. But that's just my thinking. What do you say to kids that, you know, don't have this role model like you had to?
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know, I would say to them that you have power, right? You're not alone. You have power and you have a voice, right? Your voice is going to be one of the biggest things. As long as you're able to speak up for yourself in any way, and, you know, with you either with using the app or not using the app, you know. But like you said, it's going to be more of a mental battle than anything. So when you, like you said, when you stand up to a bully and tell him in his eye, hey, look, I'm not taking this. You know, I'm not going to do this. That means something. That means something. That resonates with something. Again, the bully wants he wants the easy target. He wants the coward, right? He wants the kid that he feel like doesn't want to stick up for himself. So, you know, once you start saying, hey, you know what, I don't have to run anymore, and I'm not alone, like everybody. And I think that's a huge thing. Sometimes when we're going through a tough situation, we feel like we're by ourselves. We feel like no one else understands. We feel so alone in our problems and in life's challenges, and we don't know what to do or who to turn to. But little do they know that most of us are dealing with some type of challenge in our life. Most of us, again, like you said, if we haven't dealt with bullying, we saw how you deal with bullying. We saw the effects of bullying, and maybe don't be ashamed or be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid or ashamed to stand up for yourself, because once you stand up for yourself, I think that's when the change starts. Because again, you got to be in the mindset of, in order for change to happen, I got to be okay with being comfortable with being uncomfortable. I have to be okay with that, and I'm gonna be okay, because I can't keep living life, with my head down. I can't. I heard the saying is, you can't wear the crown with your head down. So you got to keep your head up high so you can wear that crown. So you can shine.
That's so funny that you mentioned that, because I usually wear a crown on the show.
No, you don't.
What it is, what it is, I'm in my saying when I close the show is, anyone can wear the crown, anyone can be a hero. That's how we always close the show.
I like that.
Thank you. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because if you had caught me on a good day, I would have had the crown. What it is that my wife, and congratulations to my wife, she got a new job, and we're moving to Italy. Nice. We're moving from where we live now to Italy. Yes, my wife works for the Department of Defense. So,
congratulations.
So we're moving to Italy, and they packed. Thank you. And they packed all our stuff, and everything's gone. So the crown is gone. So
the crown is gone. It's packed up.
But that's funny. As a matter of fact,
right.
here's a shot for you, so you.
There you go.
See.
There you go.
There it is, right there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll tell you how that started. That started because someone came on one of our live shows and said to me that I'm full of myself. And my wife and I, we just went to isn't that a shame that just because I feel, okay, I went through bullying. I went through bullying in the workplace, so you could learn a little bit about me. And I don't want anyone to go through that. So I came on one day to wish everybody a Merry Christmas on the show, and I started getting all these questions about how do I stop bullying? What do I, from parents, kids? I mean, I started getting bombarded with this, and that's how the show started. So this guy comes on one of the shows, and he says that I'm full of myself. Now all I'm trying to do is teach kids not to go through what I went through, and I'm full of myself. So we had just come back from a birthday party, and it was a themed birthday party, and it was prom king or queen. So me and my wife wore a crown to this party, and I happened to have the crown on my desk in my office, and I said, "Oh, I'm full of myself," and I put the crown on and said, "How about now? Am I full of myself? I'm proclaiming myself the king. Am I full of myself?" And he just left the live, and that's how you deal with bullies. To me, have you ever had to do anything that might seem outrageous at one time to deal with bullying? Because I know you didn't have to deal with bullying, but maybe like help someone else out, or anything close to a story like that.
Yeah, you know what? I think once a bully is called out, like you did, like you said, once you say, "Hey, I'm gonna call the bully out on their own agenda," not in a malicious way, but once you start standing up for, like, I've seen people, stand up for someone who was being bullied, and I saw what that did to the bully. Now it's not so fun being on the other end of bullying, right? So it wasn't something that I had to do, but I've witnessed situations where again a bully being checked on their behavior, or some things that they're doing that's not so cool, and the effect that it had on them, so now they have that look on their face that they're giving some other kid that didn't deserve what didn't deserve what's being done to them. So I've seen those situations. Unfortunately, again, I haven't had bullying in school, and I haven't had bullying in the workplace. But there are challenges that happens day to day in all of our lives. Now, there have been situations. What's funny? I can think of a situation where I did get into a situation. I wouldn't say it was a bullying situation, but again, it's just an example of me taking a stand. There was a situation with a coworker at a previous job. And I remember going. It was actually one of my first jobs outside of college, right? So I was probably 21 years old. First real job out of college, and I remember getting into it with a coworker, and she had a bully mentality. I remember going home and telling my mom. I said, you know what? I don't think I'm going back to that job. I'm having a issue with this coworker. And, I just don't think it's going to work out. And she looked me dead in my eye and she said, you'll be back tomorrow. She said, you'll be back tomorrow. She said, you're not going to let someone, decide if you're going to have a job or not, so you're going to go back to that job, and whatever the situation is, you're going to deal with it, whether it's with you and that coworker or you and your supervisor. So, that's just a testament of,
wow. Your mom sounds very, very intelligent. Awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Mom was the one that, when I was a kid, if I came in the house, because I got into it with, one of my friends said, I could come in. I remember coming in the house, sitting in the kitchen and said, man, Mom, I just got into an argument with one of my friends, and, I'm that's why I came in the house. And I remember her saying, nah, go back out there and play. Because you can't keep coming in the house. Again,
right.
this is teaching, hey, you can't, you got to take a stand. Even though it wasn't an issue of bullying, but that's the thing. It starts somewhere, right? It starts somewhere. Right. It starts a different, different habits, and we might not look at it that way, because it's so minute, it's so small at the time, but those bad habits grow. And I think that's what my mother was doing. She was nipping those bad habits in the bud quick and saying, hey, you keep coming in the house, or you keep wanting to leave that job because of someone else, you're gonna have to keep doing that. And that's something, and next thing you know, you don't control your life, they do. And that's something that you don't want to do. So, yeah, I mean, now that I think back on it, again, there's examples of, okay, this is how I got to live my life for the rest of my life. Again, even as adults, we still have challenges that we got to handle a certain type of way.
Marcel, thank you for joining the show. Yes, and if you're just joining us, my guest host today is Mark Davis, the creator of Guardian Angel app. And, in Hollywood likes to portray this thing that there's multiple universes, and there's a Mark Davis somewhere in another alternate universe, and there's probably a Mark Davis that stood in the house, never went out, and probably did not create this app. And that's the universe I don't want to live in, let me tell you.
Right.
So
right.
So kudos to your mom for saying, you're absolutely right. That could have started a trend of you, every time you have a situation, you just lock yourself in your house or lock yourself in your room and you never deal with it. So good job to your mom for saying, nope, get out. My dad was the same way. Get out, boom. Kick you right out of the house, lock the door, and you're like, hey, okay, I guess I gotta go somewhere else.
Yeah, but now but now you understand why they were doing that. Back then you just like, wow, it's almost like, wow, Mom, you don't care, but that was the thing, she did care. But we didn't see that. I couldn't understand and see that then, but I understand and see that now, looking back on it and saying, wow, her doing that, made a difference, especially when now we got a anti-bullying app, so it comes full circle. Yep.
It does come full circle. It does. So for those parents out there that are in the same situation, love your kid, tell them you love them, give them a big kiss, and then boot them out the door.
There you go.
With love. And tell them, go handle that. I'm here for you.
Go handle it. Yep. You gonna be okay.
Here for you.
You gonna be okay.
I'll tell you a story of growing up in New York. I remember a time when I wouldn't say I was being bullied, but I kind of walked away from a situation like that. And I came and I told my mom. She grabbed me by the hand. She took me, it was at the bus stop. She took me right to the bus stop and she said, "Which is the kid? That's the kid. Okay, go up and tell him you're not gonna deal with that." And I did that, you know. And
Yeah.
I got teased on a little bit about bringing my mom into the situation, but then I stood up and that went away. If I had continued to look down, then the teasing of that would have kept on. But because I looked him in his face and say, "Yeah, so what?" You know, it you know, sometimes some bullies just want you to respect them. You know, I talked to
Right.
Olympic runner. I talked to Olympic runner Chris. I can't remember the last name, but I talked to him, and he said he was bullied a lot as a kid because he was very short. And when he stood up for himself, that's when it all stopped, because the people around them just wanted to know you can stand up for yourself, right? And sometimes that's all it is. You know, I think for me, when it came to bullying in schools, that's all it was. Because when I stood up to the guys, right away they would say, "Ah, you cool, man, you cool," and you know, you cool, you're my man. Okay, so sometimes that's all it takes is, "Yo, I'm not gonna, you ain't gonna be the one," you know. Sometimes that's all it takes. And
I've seen that a lot.
You know, I do want to, because I like to keep it real on my show, I do want to say that, yeah, there are some kids, you stand up to them and they will attack you. I spoke to a girl one time. Listen to this story. I spoke to a girl that she stood up to her bully, and a bully took a pen and stabbed her in the face, right in the face.
Really?
So, yeah. So you do have to learn to defend yourself, guys that are watching the show, and parents, you know, like, you know, both my kids, I have two kids, just so you know. Young Blue, thank you for joining the show. Hey, Young, I want to let everybody know that Young Blue is the person that created our theme song, and he could create theme songs for you as well. So shout out to Young Blue, who supports us a great deal. Thank you for joining the show, Young Blue. Where was I at? Sorry about that.
The situation where the young lady got stabbed in the face with the pen.
Thank you. I have two kids, and I put them both in Taekwondo. So, you know, to build that self-esteem, and I put my daughter in pageants, as well. So pageants can help too. Just build that self-esteem. The Life to Love project. Thank you for joining the show. So let's go back. So we have not mentioned your website, and so excuse me for being a bad host here.
You're not.
But let's talk about your website so people can keep up and when the app comes out.
The website, they will go to guardianangelmobile.com.
guardianangelmobile.com.
guardianangelmobile.com. That's the website. Go check it out.
All right, awesome. And if you follow me, please follow Guardian. What's the actual Instagram page? I'm sorry, I don't want to say the wrong name. Oh, there it is. The _angel _app.
Yep. Follow
them
me on IG.
Are you on Twitter or Facebook as well?
I'm on Facebook.
Shout out.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook at the Guardian Angel app. On Facebook. On FB. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna do that myself.
Appreciate it.
So let's see. We got about 10 more minutes. So the app comes out. Let's rehash everything here. We talked about. App comes out in about a month, let's say, give or take.
Yes.
There's a free version. There's a subscription version for just $4.99.
Yes, sir.
D Loves and Stephanie, thank you for joining the show. Let's see, what else? What else haven't I covered? What did I miss, Marcus?
Man, I think you covered it all. You covered it all.
That's good. That's awesome. That's the way to do it. Yeah, Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, we touched on a lot of key points. You know, we keep coming back to just having a certain mental strength. You know, when dealing, I mean, I think that's first and foremost when dealing with life in general, right? A certain mental conditioning. You know, man, nothing. It's hard to. Nothing can beat confidence, right? You can't. If you go out into the world just with confidence alone, man, you're gonna be accomplishing a lot of things. You're gonna do a lot of great things just on confidence alone. You know, you're gonna be able to get over those challenges and those hurdles that life throws your way. So, you know, just again, you know, it's you know, the saying, see something, say something, right? You know, we wanna get our kids used to, if they see something, that they don't feel like they don't have, you know, the apprehensive for saying something, you know. So that should be the first thing that pops into their head, like, hey, I'm my brother's or sister's keeper. You know, if I don't protect them, who will? You know, so if I got to speak up with Guardian Angel app or speak out without the app, that's something that I'm willing to do because, you know, they're worth it. And if I was going through the same thing, I would want them to speak up for me.
Awesome. Well, I thank you so much for coming on the show. When the app is released, please connect with me. Let's get you back on, you know, do
Yes,
some live reaction videos. You know, we'll come
for
on and
sure.
we'll talk about the app, show people the app for sure. This is what's needed, especially the fact that this app connects with the schools. I think that's going to
Oh,
hold the schools accountable. Uh,
accountable.
good, good for you on that. Good for you on that aspect. Well, again, I want to thank Marcus for coming on the show.
No problem. It's
Come
an
back
honor.
again. Come
Yes,
back
sir.
again. Thank you, sir. Come back again. Like I said, I want to let everyone know that live feed is brought to you by the Guardian Angel app. Be sure to download it as soon as it comes out. Also brought to you by theBULLYexposed.com. Get your t-shirt at represent.com/thebullyexposed. Wait, represent.com/store/thebullyexposed, and also brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. That's going to do it for us, guys. You want to say it with me? You remember the close? You want to close with me, Marcus? Anyone can wear the
I'll,
crown.
oh,
Anyone can be your hero.
there you go. Right.
Be
You
kind
got
to
it.
one another and have a great day. Thank you, Marcus. Learn
All
that for
right.
the
Take
next
care.
time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Learn.
Take care of yourself. All right.
Yes,
Love.
sir. Be safe.